Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another edition of the virtual quarantined AP Microeconomics. Hopefully, everybody's doing well on this Monday morning. And yeah, I wanted to shoot out a video here kind of talking about the next 2 weeks. Okay, so we got 3 days this week and then we got 3 days next week. Theoretically, we have a spring break. Obviously, it doesn't feel much like it's going to be a spring break because I'm guessing you're probably not going anywhere. You're probably not going into a church or anything like that. Um, but yeah, it's and one thing I would say is I am also going to make the point of emphasis of not doing work on over break, and you should too, because it is a break. So you should let your mind relax, and so you can come back ready to go. Because this has been a run, and you guys have been doing a great job. Just really quick notes. Did a great job on the skills check, an awesome job actually. Like so many of you, like there were some of you that got like almost every single question right. And remember that those questions, AP style questions, you only really need to think about getting 50% of those right. Now obviously we're looking at a completely different, you know, like if we were preparing for a regular test, getting above half of those right is good. I mean, it's not easy. To to the questions are very difficult. They're trying to prod your weaknesses, and you guys did a really nice job on that assessment. There were a few of you, and I emailed some of you, but there were a few of you that didn't get it done but had emailed and said it's locked. I didn't realize that once that expired, it did not let you, doesn't let you take it. So I open it back up, so those of you that I emailed know that that's there. But we're doing a great job. There's only a few of you that I'm trying to track down. The vast majority of you are getting everything done, and that's awesome. Okay, so I was a little worried how this would go, but I knew you guys would rock at AP Micro. Now, we're jumping into the last unit. Remember that there is my favorite unit. It's kind of sad. My favorite unit is no longer a unit for this class, the government intervention. And you can watch things on AP Classroom. You can watch my YouTube channel if you want. It's actually my most favorite unit of all of them, of all 12, but that's not on there. These next 3 weeks are going to be all about understanding labor, which I think will be a key thing to answering these FRQs, the way these are set up. So we have the next. Let's talk about the next 2 weeks and what it's going to look like. I'll put us right here. Okay, let's get that in focus. There we go. So I kind of set it up a little different. Take a look at how I have my classroom set up. Here's your labor unit 4/6 to 4/24. So this is going to take us to the end of April. So what am I having you do today? Is labor supply and demand. Okay, so just like we have supply and demand for products, we also have supply and demand for labor. So check that out, and I'll put the answers on there. And then minimum wage. We've got one student that already has it turned in. We got a new ZLA on the minimum wage, and we have minimum wage. Actually, I think that I'll have to change that because the new ZLA all is later. So that's why it looked like there was some extra stuff, or maybe do one of these tomorrow. So I have a video on minimum wage, and basically it's very similar to a price ceiling or price floor, binding price ceiling or binding price floor, but now you pop that in with minimum wage. And it talks to you about the technical stuff with minimum wage. Then I have an article for you to read on minimum wage. Okay? And then an ed puzzle on minimum wage, misconceptions about minimum wage. That's not a very long one. And then we have an ed puzzle on labor markets. And then we have an ed puzzle on minimum wage, looking at, this is more like a Khan Academy one. So long story short, minimum wage doesn't look great in the graph, but this is a really complicated issue. There's about half of economists that like it and half economists that don't. So it's a really interesting and something that we now will have the time to kind of look at a little bit more in depth watching those videos there. Then next week, when you come back, we're going to be looking at this whole concept of MRP equals MRC, marginal revenue product, and marginal resource cost. So it's like, you know what it is? Oh, it's this. thinking between the lines. You got to be able to think between the lines. It's very similar to what we did when we were analyzing that with cost, but now we're looking at it with labor. Okay, so you do that, you do your, and then basically what happens to this unit is we have two key concepts: perfectly competitive market and monopoly. And then now in labor we have basically the reverse version of that, but it's the same concept. Now we have a perfectly competitive labor market and a monopsony, which is the opposite of a monopoly. So those are the things that you'll look at after you come back from break. A lot of technical stuff, but it's all explained very well in there, in the videos and the ed puzzles. So understanding this unit, I do always teach this unit last, because it's kind of like it basically takes everything we've learned and it looks very similar, but it's like inverted. Like the monopsony is the inverted image of a monopoly, and I think that will be something that will definitely be on the, or something with labor will definitely be on these FRQs. And these are tricks that we'll have to be ready for. So that's what we're going to be working on the next few weeks, really working on understanding this labor unit and how all this goes. So hopefully that helped you understand a little bit about what we have forthcoming. And yeah, as always, email me, let me know if you have questions. I'm here to help. I'm also going to put out a Zoom optional Zoom meeting on Wednesdays. We won't do it this week, but next week when we come back from break, we'll do a Zoom. We can talk about what you did over break and the just general questions you have, with a little more than a month before taking an AP test. So yeah, I figured that would be a good time to start doing a weekly Zoom, check in with everybody, see how you're doing. So have a great day, and let me know if you have questions. Enjoy the day. It looks like it's gonna be nice out, and then rain a little bit on Tuesday, Wednesday. So try to get out today and enjoy it. Okay, take care.